Greetings, my sexy audience. My name's Marty, and welcome to a $350 PC gaming build video. Now, before we start, a little disclaimer for all the new people here. First off, this build features just the parts, nothing else. So, if you're needing an operating system, and trust me, you will need an operating system, whether you go free with Linux or with Windows, it's up to you how you get it and what you get. Besides that, if you're completely new to PC gaming, you will still need peripherals like a mouse, a keyboard, a monitor, and connect it all to use your PC. That's also not included in this build. And last but not least, keep in mind that time goes on, prices fluctuate, and I am not in charge of that. I can't know what will happen. I am not in charge of what will happen. So just because while I am making this video, it is actually $353, but tomorrow, after a week, after a month, who knows when, but prices will go up or down, I do not know, and I'm not in charge of that. So sorry, but please just don't come and bitch at me saying, oh my god, how can you make a video saying it's $350 when it's actually $420? Sorry, I'm not in charge of that, and you just gotta live with that. That's how it is. So maybe you'll be lucky and it will go down, maybe not, it will go up. We'll see. With that being said, let's jump in straight into the build. For the CPU, I chose the Intel Pentium G3258. Now, it's a 3.2 GHz dual-core processor, and right off the bat, many people think, oh my god, it's a Pentium, oh my god, it's a dual-core. That means it's the sin of PC gaming, it means it's garbage, and that it will not run anything. And that is complete lies. That is not true at all. I myself, a couple years ago, thought that, oh my god, Pentiums are so bad, because I myself had a Pentium 3, like, 10 plus years ago in my gaming build. Well, it wasn't really a gaming build, but it was, I played games on it. And it was a Pentium 3, and instantly now, recently, I thought to myself, oh, Pentium equals old and shitty, right? But no, that's not true. This CPU right here, it came out a couple months ago. It's from the Haswell refresh series of CPUs, so it features the brand new LG1150 socket, or not brand new, it came out a year ago. And therefore, even later, if you get some more money, you can make a CPU upgrade and change this one out to like an i3, i5, or i7 from the Haswell series of CPUs, but you won't need to do that because this is actually a good CPU. For the price you pay, it's 3.2 GHz, it's unlocked so you can overclock it, and dual core. Some people think dual core is that, wow, consoles are 8 cores and you're recommending me a dual core, it's not going to do anything. That is also not true because all games, most games even still recommend a dual core, but even most games that's like, say, oh my god, please play us in like with a quad-core CPU at minimum, they will still run with a dual-core. Big games even like Battlefield 4 or even Crysis 3 run with a dual-core. So yeah, dual cores are still viable, but of course you won't be able to like max every single game out, and of course it will hold you back in the future, but still, it is actually a good CPU, so trust me on that one. Moving along, for the motherboard, I chose the MSI H81M E33 Micro ATX motherboard. So of course, it's a micro ATX board, so there's not a lot of things on store, but, you know, what it does have is 2 RAM slots by up to 16 gigabytes in total, and it is also up to 1600 megahertz, no USB 3, no SLI or Crossfire support, so yeah, it is pretty bare bones, but it will, like, it does support the LGA1150 socket, so of course it does support our CPU, and of course anything else from the Haswell series. And what else? Oh, one thing to note: it is the H81, not the H91, which means while it supports our CPU, it is from a year ago. So you will need to do a BIOS update to properly use your new CPU. So keep that in mind. But otherwise, for $50, it's a pretty damn good motherboard. So yeah, nothing else much to say. Speaking about things that don't have much to say, the memory, the G.Skill Ripjaws X series 4 gigabytes memory that I chose for this one will cost you $40. It is 4 gigabytes, 2 RAM, 6x2 gigabytes in total. So you will use both of your slots on the motherboard. It is DDR3, 1600 megahertz, and yeah, that's about it. There's really nothing else I could say other than the fact that G.Skill is a good company, so it is good RAM. But if you will feel like you want more, you will have to take these two out and buy a completely new set because, you know, there's only 2 slots. But you probably won't need to because right now at the moment 4 gigabytes is still enough. Even big games like Battlefield 4 will run easily with 4 gigabytes of RAM. Moving along, for the storage, obviously no SSD in this build because at $350 budget you just can't own one, but maybe in the future. But at the moment you only have a Western Digital Caviar Blue 1TB 3.5-inch hard drive. So again, 3.5 inches, the standard desktop hard drive size, 7200 RPM, the perfect speed. Lower is just not enough, and higher, well, you can go higher, but why? Why would you? This will cost you only $50, and it has enough space, enough speed. It is just good. I use it myself, and I love it. Moving along, for the graphics card, obviously the most important part in a gaming PC build, I chose the Asus Radeon R7260X. So it is 2 gigabytes of VRAM GDDR5, has the Asus DirectCU2 cooler on top of it, which is pretty damn good because, you know, AMD cards do tend to run pretty hot, and The two spinning fans will keep it, well, not exactly super low temperatures, but definitely pretty low, so you don't need to worry about heat. And while it isn't from the R9 series, it's from the R7, it is a pretty good graphics card. The 260X will actually run Battlefield 4. I keep mentioning Battlefield 4 all the time because I don't know why I just like talking about that game, although I don't play it much. But yeah, Battlefield 4 at 1080p, ultra settings, not exactly 60 FPS, but like 40, 50. It will be playable frame rates. You will be able to play it at ultra, but of course you probably want the super smooth, silky smooth 60 FPS that PC gaming is known for. Well, then you probably want to lower just a little bit down to high settings, which will still make it look gorgeous. But now, congratulations, you're running at 1080p, 60 FPS all the time, and it looks better than consoles, and it costs less than consoles at $350, which is really, really amazing. So yeah, and the graphics card itself alone will cost you $105 after a $20 mail-in rebate. Moving along, for the case, I chose the Thermaltake VL8001W2Z. Every single attempt I made at this video, I didn't read that out, but now I decided to, heck, YOLO, what the hell, I'm just going to read it out loud. And it's not actually that bad of a name, but it is still pretty long, and I'm not even sure why I'm still talking about the name. Anyways, it's a ATX mid-tower case. Plenty of space, obviously, because you have a micro ATX board, so no worries about that. Not sure about, like, cable management options or airflow, but just because it is Thermaltake and they're not the worst brand in the world, I'm saying like they're bad, but they're not, they're a good brand. So I'm pretty sure the case is pretty good, and especially because its base price is $40, but you will get it for $25 after a $15 mail-in rebate. And I don't know, I have nothing really much to say about it, other than the fact that you won't have USB 3 in the front panel, but you don't need it because the motherboard doesn't support it. So yeah, USB 2 all the way. So hopefully you don't have any USB 3 equipment, because, well, that would suck, but still. Of course, again, I keep forgetting to say this in every one of my videos, but this is not like, it isn't like you can't change anything in this build. You can change whatever the hell you want. This is how I would build it, but you can like take out the not processor, definitely not processor, but you can take out the case, for example, and put in any other case you want. Maybe if you have a little bit more money, you want that front panel USB 3, although not in this case because the motherboard doesn't support it, or maybe you want some cool LED fans, or you want, I don't know, super awesome cable management. You can just put in a better case, or just swap out the case for an even cheaper one if you want to go super bare bones, so just keep that in mind. But yeah, that's about the case, and last but not least, for the power supply, again, the Corsair CX430 Builder Series power supply. It's 80 plus bronze certified, and there's just nothing bad I can say about this power supply. It is awesome. So the TDP, or the estimated wattage for this build, is 250 watts. The power supply gives you 430, but of course, if you will do overclocking, or if you will put more drives or things like that, of course, the estimated wattage will go up higher. But yeah, at $20, 430 watts power supply by Corsair is just absolutely amazing. As I've said in every single one of my builds, when looking for a power supply, you want to actually buy a good, reputable brand power supply, because those cheap ones will just burn your entire system down, so don't do that. You can get a cheap case, but you can't get a cheap power supply. Keep that in mind forever. So, and after all of that, your build will cost you $353 at the time of making this video. I don't know, I think it's a pretty damn good build. Of course, you won't be maxing out every single game out there, but most games you will be playing at like medium to high settings at 60 FPS and 1080p easily. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to leave a like rating down below. This was actually one of the price ranges that was suggested to me by one of the viewers. I'm not sure who suggested it, but a long time ago someone suggested me to do a $350 build, so here it is. And of course, if you want to see more, like, you know, specific price range builds, like, I don't know how much you want to see, maybe a $2,000, maybe a $3,000, maybe a, I don't know, $200 build. If you want to see a $200 build, please let me know in the comments down below. But my name is Marty. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.